What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Leizel. So for today's video, I'm pretty excited for this one because I'm going to be testing out and doing a first impressions on the latest release from Fenty Beauty. This is their Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Powder Foundation. So I believe this product released back on December 26th, so just after Christmas Day. I actually went to my local Sephora not too long after that, and they actually didn't have any in stock. I did have to pick this up online. I did, however, get shade matched in store. Like, I tried out their other foundations and I think my shade is 210. I don't know. We're gonna have to see. So I did pick up 210 for anybody who might be of a similar skin tone to me. Fingers crossed that's gonna work for me today. But yeah, this is it right here, you guys. This is the component and packaging for the Fenty Beauty powder. First of all, I just want to say the packaging feels so nice. Like, it's nice and smooth, luxe, like has a good weight to it. It just feels like durable, and as you guys can see, it does come with that octagonal shaped packaging that Fenty is known for. And then if we open it up, inside there is a mirror on the top. There is the powder foundation right there, and if you can see, it does have an FB embossed into the powder. And then when you lift this up, I don't think this is supposed to be a mirror, but there is a reflective area right there, and it does come with a applicator sponge. So I am going to be testing this out today. Don't know how I feel about these things. Typically I don't like to use any of these when it comes to applying any product to my face. Usually whenever makeup products come with some type of applicator, I kind of disregard them, but for the purpose of this first impression and testing it out, I am going to use this today. I also did notice as well, there's like a little, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's like a little pinhole right here. I don't know if I'm just like thinking this, but I feel like that is done on purpose so that they can potentially come out with refills later on. Like, I feel like if you go into them, I don't want to do it right now because I'm scared I'm going to break it. But I just feel like, what is the purpose of that little pinhole? Like, is it to be able to pop out the pen on top and put in a refill? I have a feeling that's what it's for, but I guess time will tell. So yeah, I'm going to be testing this out today, giving you guys my first impressions, showing you guys how it applies, how it wears throughout the day, and then of course giving my final thoughts and opinions at the end of the day. I don't know exactly how long I'm going to be wearing this for, but it is currently about 10 in the morning, so hopefully I can get like a full 8-hour wear test out of this to show you guys how it works. But before I get into applying this to my face, I want to go ahead and go through all of the claims and what it says that it is supposed to do. So I'm just reading this off the Sephora website. So it says that it is for combination dry, normal, oily skin. So I guess everybody with any type of skin type can wear this. It has a matte finish and it provides full, medium, or sheer coverage. So I guess it can pretty much do everything. Like, you can wear it sheer, build it up to a medium, or go full coverage with it. So for what it is, it says that it is an award-winning foundation that forever changed the game, now in a long wear light as air powder to deliver light to full coverage in a non-cakey soft matte finish in 50 shades for all. So it does come with 50 shades, which I think is great. We all love the fact that foundations, especially Fenty Beauty, really changed the game when it came to coming out with a multitude and a broad spectrum of foundations to match everybody, every different type of skin tone, skin color, undertone, whatever it may be. Fenty Beauty pretty much has it all. So for what it does, the claims are that it is long wear, light as air with no flashback. It has a blur filter complex to deliver the ultimate blurred finish. It is sweat, humidity, and crease resistant, buildable, light to full coverage formula that loves to be layered. It won't settle into fine lines, clog pores, or cake up, and it also says that it reduces the appearance of shine. And of course it comes in a chic, portable powder compact that fits in your hand. So yeah, in terms of price, I believe, yeah, this is about 52 Australian dollars. I'm not 100% sure how much it is overseas in other countries, but for us over here in Australia, this retails for 52 AUD. So from what I've just read and all the information that I've gathered from that, this is essentially a powder version of the soft matte liquid foundation that they came out with a while ago. Which, if you guys have been watching me for a while, then you would know I am a big fan of powder foundations on the daily as part of my everyday makeup routine. I do gravitate towards using a powder foundation just because I'm the type of person that I don't want anything too heavy. I do like to go in with a powder and then conceal whatever I feel is necessary to conceal. However, today we're going to try and build this up and see how it goes. So let's get started. Alrighty, so I'm going to take the, what do you call this? Sponge? Yeah, the sponge. And I guess we're going to see how this applies. Actually, let me just take a swatch really quick because I haven't touched this at all. And I mean, I hope that it is going to match me. Actually, I think that's going to be okay. I don't know if you guys can see it there. I do like a really light swatch, but I think that should be okay. I have already done like my morning skincare, moisturizers, serums, primer and all of that as well. So I'm just going to go straight into applying this. So let's just take like one swipe there. Oh, okay. Honestly, I have no idea how to do this when it comes to applying with a sponge, but we're going to try it on this side and then I might try like a brush on the other side. Oh, can you guys see the difference? I think I did a pretty good job with figuring out what my skin tone would be. I honestly don't know how I feel about this applicator though. Doesn't feel right to me. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Usually when I apply my like everyday face powder, I like to go in with like a fluffy brush, like say this one right here, and I'll just swirl it in there and kind of go in and swirl it all around my face. I don't like to go in with like a concentrated sponge like this, but I suppose this is what's going to give me like a more dense full coverage type of finish. So we'll do that for this side of the face, as I said, and then kind of just figure out how to do the other side with a brush. But so far, can you guys see how that's like kind of covered up any type of like little bit of like redness that I had in this area? It does a pretty good job at doing that, and it honestly doesn't look like I have anything on. Like, can you guys tell? The finish is very nice, and I don't think I've done it too heavy so far, so let me try it up here as well. Alright, so first impressions, I like the powder and I like the finish that it's giving me, but I don't really like this thing. But for the purpose of the video, we're just going to continue on with using it. So far, I think the color, it's looking alright. We'll see how it like oxidizes throughout the day, if it does oxidize at all. But for this side of my face, I think it's done a pretty good job at blurring out any pores that I have. I typically get like obviously the most visible pores within this area right here, like this part of my cheek, and then obviously on my nose. But honestly, from what I can see, it's doing a really great job at kind of minimizing the look of them and blurring everything out, which is what it said it would do. Alright, so that is this side of the face pretty much done. I didn't go in too heavy all over for the most part. I mean, I might have added a little more extra coverage to this area right here because I feel like that's where I carry like a little bit of redness and whatnot, like around my nose and such. But I feel like the finish is really beautiful. I feel like it's exactly what it says it is. It gives a soft, matte, blurred kind of finish, and it looks really, really nice on the skin. As you guys saw, I did use the sponge to apply the product to this side of my face, and I wouldn't say that this is like a full coverage. I feel like I could definitely add more, but could I achieve that with the sponge? I don't know. I'm gonna try using like one of these, like a flat top kind of kabuki brush, to do the other side of my face, and we'll see how that goes with applying the powder. So let's just kind of swirl that in there, which when you're swirling around with a brush, there is a lot more kickback, like there's a lot more powder that kind of comes off. So we shall see how this goes. Let me just start. I feel like the brush gives a really nice finish as well. It's kind of like when I apply like a mineral powder, I just like to swirl it around circular motions, make sure it's getting all nice and blended into the skin. I feel like it's a lot easier to apply the powder with the brush, but I guess that's because that's just what I'm used to, so I kind of favor applying it with a brush. But from what I've done so far, I think this side definitely looks like it has a lot more like dense full coverage. So let me just kind of go back in with a little bit more, see if I can like build it up in some areas where I feel I need it. Okay, so I think that's about as far as I want to go in terms of application. I don't know if you guys can tell right now, but I feel like to me it is looking very skin-like. It literally feels like I don't know, it doesn't feel like I just went ahead and applied foundation. It just feels very like breathable and skin-like, and I feel like it is definitely giving me that blurred effect. It is making my pores look much more invisible, and it just feels so nice. I feel like applying it with the brush on this side was just, it felt really good to apply, whereas I feel like going in with the sponge on this side, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of tedious to try and get it to make sure that everything is blended and seamless. I feel like it's a lot easier to get that kind of seamless effect with a brush. However, I feel like this side may be looking a little more like full coverage, if that makes sense. I don't know if it's because I didn't apply as much product on this side to be able to get the finish that I wanted, but I might just be super picky right now. But for the most part, I think it looks really beautiful on the skin and it feels really great. It felt really good to apply as well. Also, I think my color match is actually pretty good, so 210 was good for me. It's not too dark, not too light, and the undertone is pretty good with it as well, so I'm happy about that. But what I'm going to go ahead and do now is go and finish off the rest of my makeup, and I will come back and let you guys know how everything applied over top of the powder foundation. I know some people don't like to apply a powder foundation and then go on with their concealers and such. For me, that's kind of a technique that I've always done anyway, so I don't have any issue with that. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and finish off the rest of my face, just kind of do my everyday quick little makeup routine, and I will check back in with you guys to show you guys how it looks and how it feels. So I'll be right back. Alright you guys, I am back after finishing off the rest of my makeup application. As you guys can see, this is the finished look. Everything looks pretty good from what I can see so far. The only thing that I experienced some type of issue with was, and I don't know if this is just like me, whether I did something weird with my makeup application today, but typically I go in with my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer as my under eye concealer, and I also use it to highlight and contour my face. So I'll put some like down the bridge of my nose and all the other areas that I want to highlight with my concealer. But something that I noticed was, and it's only on this eye, this is the side that I used the brush to apply the powder foundation with, right? So it's only on this eye I noticed that my concealer was having trouble like blending in seamlessly to the rest of the face, if that makes sense, and I've never experienced that before. So I also noticed it did it a little bit on my nose, and I obviously had put the powder on my nose as well before applying the concealer. So like I mentioned before I went off to do the rest of my makeup, I did say that in my everyday makeup routine, when I apply like my mineral powder foundation, that's the way that I typically do things. I'll apply the foundation first and then go in with the concealer, but that's like liquid on top of powder, if that makes sense. So I don't know if I just like did something weird today, or if my face is having like dry patches or something, I don't know, but for the most part everything looks pretty good. The face is looking pretty flawless from what I can tell. I'm really obsessed with the color match as well. I feel like the color match, I did an okay job with like picking out the right color match for me. So far it's still feeling really comfortable on the face, doesn't feel heavy at all whatsoever. But what I'm going to do now, it is almost 11 a.m. It's about to be 11 a.m. So what I'm gonna do is continue on with my day. I'll probably check in with you guys in a few hours time just to kind of see how it's wearing and holding up throughout the day. It is summer here in Australia at the moment, so that's the whole reason why I thought it would be perfect to test out and do a first impressions trial on this powder foundation, because I thought I could test it with like the humidity, the heat, the sweat, like all of that kind of stuff that they claim it is good at avoiding. However, today it's actually raining, but regardless, we're going to wear it for a full day and just see how it wears throughout. So that being said, I'll be back in a few hours to check in with you guys and show you how it's holding up. Also, I should also mention I did not set my face with any type of setting spray today. So literally with just a powder foundation with my makeup on top, no setting sprays whatsoever, so we're really going to see how this holds up throughout the day. Alright you guys, I am checking in to give you a little bit of a halfway point update. So it is currently just after 3 p.m. The last time I was with you guys, it was about 11. So I've had the foundation on now for about 4 hours. So I'm going to try and go for like an 8-hour wear time, but I actually haven't studied my face or seen how it's wearing or like analyzed it yet. So we're going to go ahead and do that together right now. Alrighty, so from what I can see, it looks really good. Like first glance, it looks really good. I feel like I don't have any really oiliness occurring. I mean, maybe my nose looks a little bit shiny at some point. It doesn't feel like, you know, kind of like, you know how you feel like when your oils are kind of doing their thing and seeping through makeup? You can really feel that, but yeah, I don't feel that at all. It still feels nice and matte. I feel like it looks really beautiful on the skin. Definitely is doing a great job at like blurring. It's not really settling into any fine lines just yet. Honestly, I'm very pleased. Like, I don't have anything to fault with it at the moment. I mean, it's only been 4 hours, but yeah, for the most part, it's not caked up anywhere. It's not caking up around my nose. None of my fine lines are really showing yet. And I've been sitting in this room filming videos underneath these studio lights, so I would think that I'd have a little bit of like perspiration fading or any type of like minor fine lines showing through just with natural expressions because I spent all day talking today. But for the most part, I think it looks really good. Like, what do you guys think? I think it's looking really good so far. Like I said, I didn't set my face with any type of setting spray, nothing like that. I haven't touched up my face. I honestly haven't even had a chance to really like look at my face in the mirror. So I've really just analyzed it for the first time with you guys. But yeah, honestly, it's looking really good so far, and I feel like it doesn't look like heavy makeup at all. Like, from what I can see so far, it's held up really well. Like I said, it's not settling into any fine lines or anything like that. Like, it's a really nice finish. So far so good. I'm really liking how this foundation looks. I feel like it looks very natural. It's settled into the skin really nicely, and I feel like it's still looking pretty decent for being a matte finish foundation. I don't think it's looking anything too crazy just yet, but like I said, I'm going to try and wear this for around 8 hours. So I will check in with you guys later at the end of the day to show you guys how it looks, and I'll give you guys my final verdict on whether I think this powder foundation is worth trying and worth picking up. So it is quite some time later now. It is just before 8 p.m. At this point in time, I've been wearing the foundation for about 9-ish or so hours. So first things first, as you guys can see, my face is looking a little bit more oily than it did when I last checked in with you guys. Something that I have noticed as well is that because my natural oils have kind of crapped up on my face throughout the day, the foundation has somewhat oxidized as well. So I feel like it's looking a little bit, just like a slight bit darker than what it did when I first applied it and when I last checked in. But looking up close, it honestly doesn't look too bad. Like, I don't see any settling into fine lines. Usually at the end of the day around this time, I would see foundation kind of caking up around my nose, settling into fine lines on my forehead. But this one honestly hasn't done that at all. I'm very surprised. The only thing is that it looks a little bit more like oily, but not oily, it's kind of like glossy. You know when you're kind of just been out for the day in the sun and you kind of have that sheen to your skin? I feel like that's what it's giving me right now. It's not too crazy, it's not too intense, it's not as oily as some other foundations have looked at me after wearing them for a full day. But what I'm going to do is kind of go in with the sponge and kind of apply some more just to see whether that will help settle down the oiliness that is going on. Typically, I don't touch up my makeup throughout the day, but for the purpose of this first impression, we're going to kind of test that out now and just see how everything goes. So if I just take a little bit and kind of pat it into place, I feel like, I don't know if that's a good idea actually. I feel like on my cheek right here, it took the shine away, but it kind of lifted up a little bit on my nose, if that makes sense. You know when you kind of go in and touch your nose a little bit, it will lift off the oiliness, like the oily foundation that's there. That's what it's kind of done. So I probably would have to like blot off my face first with some type of like blotting paper rather than going straight in with the sponge. But I assume by including a sponge in the compact, that's what they want you to do. They want you to use it as kind of like an on-the-go touch-up type of thing. So as you can see, that is one side touched up. Honestly, it wasn't that hot of a day today. It was actually quite a fair bit cooler than it typically has been in the past few days, considering that it is summer over here at the moment. But as you can see, that's one side kind of blotted and touched up a little bit. Well, not so much blotted, but extra powder added on top to kind of take that shine away. And the difference is very subtle. Like you can see, there's still a little bit of shine on this side. To be honest, the only shine that really bothers me is when I get it like on my forehead here, because it makes your forehead look a little bit bigger. And then also on my cheeks here, it looks a little bit too intense. So yeah, for the most part though, after kind of going in and touching it up and adding a little bit more, it really doesn't look too bad, and I feel like I could definitely go extra hours of wearing this foundation. So for my final thoughts and opinions, I truly like this. Like, I think it was a really great foundation to test out and try, and for being a powder foundation, I do feel like it gave me a really lovely coverage. It gave me a really good finish as well, and it honestly, like I said, usually around this time when wearing a full coverage foundation, I would experience some type of gathering up around fine lines or cakiness, especially around my nose, because that's where I get the most oily. But it did get oily, however it didn't settle into any fine lines, so for that I am very pleased with how it's looking. So for my final verdict, would I recommend this foundation to you guys? I definitely would. I feel like it is on the higher end in terms of price point when it comes to foundations, but for what it is a powder foundation, which I know a lot of people aren't too big of a fan of. Typically they want to use these type of things as a topper to a liquid foundation to set their liquid foundation in place. But I definitely feel like with the coverage that it provides, it can be used on its own, especially on the daily if you're the type of person that just likes to wear something to kind of make yourself look a little more put together, add a little bit of color and coverage to your face. I definitely feel like this is one of those products that you can wear alone. So if you're the type of person that doesn't like to wear anything too heavy, just wants something that's a little bit light but can also be built up to be that of a full coverage foundation, I definitely would recommend checking this one out from Fenty Beauty. And for the most part, this is definitely a product you guys are going to see me using and featuring in any of my other videos. So with that being said, I definitely do like this. Go and check it out from Fenty Beauty or Sephora. If you have tried this product, I want you to comment down below and let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on it. Like I said, I actually really liked it, and even after touching it up, I really like how it looks. Like I said, I can't stress enough that it didn't settle into my fine lines and it didn't cake up, and that's definitely one of the claims that they said it would achieve. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you are still here at the end watching and you're not yet subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing by hitting the little red button down below before you go so you don't miss any more videos that I post. And with that being said, I will talk to you guys in the comments, and I'll see you all in my next video.